Boop.
That's my favorite, actually.
So we're starting with this was fun. Polymarket tweeted out, breaking Zohran Mamdani to require all New York elementary school students to learn Arabic numerals.
Yep.
Which, if you're not familiar, Arabic numerals are
It's just
the ones that we use.
normal fucking numbers.
0 through 9. And there were so many people that got caught up in this. I'm like, have fun, New York City. You voted for this. Did he forget New York is in America?
Oh my
And of course,
God.
Laura Loomer deleted this or she edited it or whatever. So like she redid it to make it look like she got the joke. But this was her first post. This was her gut reaction to this was, you know, things are bad when you can't tell if this is real or a joke. Dear God, it's real, isn't it? So yeah, Laura Loomer, bit of an idiot. Shocker, I know.
Yep.
So Jess is asking, do you have Clandis tweets? I don't know. If there's anything new, I don't have it. This is all stuff that I had pulled for last week, but then Surfs was like, I'm sick.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was also like, I don't feel like it. And I'm behind on work, so I got to do my work. So it was fine. We would have passed the $15,000 for Project Share if I'd only streamed last week.
Axo says they should just make them date Tim tries to clone him. What? Oh, there's a conversation happening that I'm not seeing. I see. It's a conversation about DC Comics. Okay.
I know nothing about DC Comics except that the Wonder Woman 1984 movie is hilariously bad. Pedro Pascal wishes to be a wishing rock.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
It's so stupid. Okay. Spoilers for Wonder Woman 1984. Pedro Pascal is the bad guy, and bad guy is kind of weird or whatever. So there's a wishing rock that will grant it'll grant any wish if you wish while you're touching it. A thing that is not explained about it ever until Pedro Pascal does his thing is that when you make a wish, it takes something from you.
Okay.
But it's not like the writers of this movie weren't clever enough to do a monkey pie thing with it. So it didn't really make a lot of sense, or like it wasn't clear that this was actually a bad thing. But Pedro Pascal wished to be the wishing rock. So then the rest of the movie is him like convincing people to touch him while they make a wish so that he can then take a thing from them. And that is how he becomes rich and powerful or whatever. And then the final confrontation happens when he realizes that if he can get in front of this special TV camera, then the particles from that like have the TV camera like recording him and sending it to a satellite and then broadcasting to everybody. Technically, if you're looking at that picture, the like the air molecules are touching each other, so that still counts as touching, and it goes through the satellite, and that still counts as touching somehow.
I'm
so
not
like he
even
gets
gonna
everybody.
lie. I've checked out.
He gets everybody on the planet to make wishes while looking at him on the TV screen. And then the way they fix everything after he takes all this shit from people and he's about to like destroy the planet or whatever the fuck is Wonder Woman then gets on the TV and is like, hey, everybody needs to renounce their wishes or things are going to get bad. And every single person on the fucking planet is like, I renounce my wish.
Okay.
It's so fucking stupid. Oh, I love it.
Man, do you watch any good movies? Man, you're having to think a little hard about that one.
I can't even remember the last movie I watched. You know what? I'm watching through the original Star Wars trilogies with one of the younger kids.
Saki and I just got done doing a marathon of all the Star Wars movies.
And I acknowledge that, like, they're not high cinema. That's not like high art sort of stuff, but they are fun movies.
I'm also going to say that the term high cinema or high art is fucking stupid. Are they fun and enjoyable? Yes. Do they have good stories and good characters? Yes. Okay, cool. Then it's good.
Sinners. Yes, that's a good movie. I've seen Sinners.
Okay.
Jojo Rabbit. Also a good movie. I've seen Jojo Rabbit.
Also, I surprisingly liked Rise of Skywalker more the second time I watched it.
I haven't seen it a second time.
It's weird because like when Saki and I finished watching it, we both just kind of went, wait, hold on. People really do hate this movie. And I know I hated it because I did a whole Twitter thread about hating it.
I get the second one and the third one from that trilogy confused all the time. Is Rise of Skywalker the third one or the second one?
Third one.
Okay. Yeah, so I can see some redeeming character. Like, I'm just going from memory here. I think those two I only saw once. I saw Force Awakens like 7 or 8 times because it was the first Star Wars movie in a long time. And, you know, I was very blue-balled and I had to release it. But yeah, no, those two I only saw once. And if my memory is correct, the middle one was actually the best.
So Last Jedi is my favorite of the three. I know that people hate The Last Jedi, but like the things that people hate about it.
So
okay.
Oh yeah, Piper, Wild Robot, also good movie, great movie, made me cry. No. So I didn't really see much criticism about Last Jedi that didn't come from the right wing complaint that like, oh, there's a purple haired lady that has to always be right. And it's like, no, that's just stupid. That's a stupid criticism. That's not what was wrong with the like the whole Canto Bite side quest was a bit weird.
You know what's funny though? Everybody who says that the Canto Bite side quest was dumb, like, doesn't seem to understand that the only reason that they were able to get anything done on the ship later is because they had the code cracker from Canto Bite.
That's I know, and there is precedent in other Star Wars movies for dumb side quests that don't actually matter a whole lot and are just like to waste some time to get the movie up to a runtime. So like that's not the only Star Wars movie that does shit like that. Like look at fucking Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. That doesn't really do anything except get Han back.
I mean,
and the only reason Han was gone in the first place was because Harrison Ford was thinking about quitting.
He's been trying to get Han killed forever.
Yeah.
Also, the idea that like in 30 years, Luke's personality would be unchanged from the person that he was originally. Like, no, I'm sorry. It makes sense that a dude would get jaded eventually. That happens to people all the fucking time.
I'm not the same person I was when I started doing twit tweets. I'm a bit more jaded than I was back then. I was so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Points for nada.
And then I read Twitter for several years straight. Oh my god, that's what happened. That's what's wrong with me.
Yeah, you keep reading Twitter.
This show's canceled. We're done forever.
Like, I'm gonna be honest. I love Last Jedi, and I think I actually like Rise of Skywalker now. I didn't like it at first because the dumb fucking fetch quest and all that stuff and bringing Palpatine back made no sense. But like,
the fetch quest didn't bother me. What bothered me is like they're landing fucking horses on top of a Star Destroyer. That's just dumb. Lando somehow gathered 1 million fucking ships in 20 seconds.
Well, no,
fuck you.
So again, having recently watched that movie again, it's not that Lando gathers that many ships on his own accord. It's that Palpatine broadcasted to the entire galaxy that they would all be subjugated. All Lando had to do was just say, hey, I'm also going to broadcast on this channel. How about we don't? That's literally all that happened, is that Palpatine broadcasts to everyone, you're all going to die, here's the proof.
The whole thing was that the only way to get to the planet is if you have one of the Sith holocron things, and didn't Lando not have one of those?
Yeah, you needed a wayfinder to get there initially, but after the route has been mapped, then you're there. Like, that's a very common thing for Star Wars. So if you read any of the... I've read
clearly I've read some of the books. That's why I called it a fucking holocron.
Yeah, because it's a wayfinder. Asshole. But it is a standard thing in Star Wars that once somebody has gone through a hyperspace route, you can follow it again. And the technology was introduced in Episode 9, or actually in Episode 8, for tracking hyperspace routes for any craft. That was introduced in the previous movie. So we know that it is possible for any ship to follow another ship through a hyperspace route.
I don't remember. I legitimately do not remember most of the details of these two movies. I just know that the last one had very many that's complete bullshit moments from me. Like that was my reaction. Like, that's bullshit. No, come on, no way. Like that. And a lot of it surrounded, like, Palpatine somehow returned. And
what's funny, the Palpatine somehow returned bit, I hate the delivery of it. I hate the delivery of that line. It's one of the stupidest lines in the entire movie. But I will also say that in two separate canons, Or there are now 3 canons for Star Wars.
Yeah, I know this is not the first time Palpatine has come back.
Yeah, because there's
it's just the way they did it seemed like they didn't have any ideas of anything to actually do.
So the way that they did it in this movie seemed like what they decided to do was grab from the Legends material without having a bunch of build up to that event. Because with Legends, that was like there was a bunch of books before that happened. You had Fallen Empire, you had Thrawn, and then you got to Palpatine coming back in the books. In the comics, you had him come back in a much closer to this movie way, where he tried to like do the essence transfer thing to Han Solo's kids, which is what he fucking tries to do in the movie again. Again, this movie just borrows from Legends a bunch. But like I've seen it done well in Star Wars, I've seen it done badly in Star Wars in the Legends material, and this movie basically did it the bad way, but it used an idea that was already there. And as you get further into the movie, when you start to see the context for like he's back but he's a husk, it makes a little more sense. The delivery for it is awful, but him being back as a husk of his former self, I'm more okay with.
Axo says, all of Star Wars is bullshit. There's Force Jesus and some lady who went swimming in 2 pools and turned mega evil more than the sun / the dark side. What?
That sounds
I'm a
like
huge Star Wars
that sounds
nerd,
like weird Legends material.
I don't know what that... Like, okay, Force Jesus, I get that's Anakin because he was immaculately... No, not Immaculate Conception is actually referring to how Mary was conceived, not Jesus. But virgin birth.
Yeah, he was a virgin.
So Anakin was virgin birth.
Yeah, he was a virgin in the Force because of Plagueis. And actually, fun thing. Star Wars: The Acolyte finally introduced Darth Plagueis into the main canon instead of being in Legends. The final scene from Acolyte is Darth Plagueis looking at a would-be apprentice who was a virgin in the Force, because the Plagueis book shows that every single time a person is like born of the Force, quote, quote, like Anakin was, that was Plagueis' fault. He was doing fucking midichlorian experiments and basically reached out into the galaxy and impregnated a bunch of people. That's a fucking thing that happened in the books.
So there's more than one Anakin.
As of Acolyte, there is, yes.
I finally get to take off that fucking hot hat.
Also, apparently, Philosophy Tube is in Acolyte as well.
Oh,
like she's an actor in there. Sorry,
Jassy, you got the flower. You don't get Gay Unicorn Gary. Yeah. Anyway, back to tweets.
Yay!
Okay, so this was some cope from someone being that didn't want to acknowledge that his side of the argument was losing. He was like, so much snark in these comments. Y'all know there are Western and Eastern Arabic numbers, right? Because clearly everyone who was getting upset about the Arabic numerals being taught in schools thought that he was talking about Eastern Arabic numerals instead of the Western Arabic numerals that we all already use.
Yay.
So much cope.
People are dumb.
So much fucking cope. Yeah. Okay. And we got Joey Manorino, who I guess his account says he's based in Europe. And so he says, since the lovely trolls out there want to say I'm not American, I'm curious, what is this? Anyone have a clue what this here is? Yeah, it's an American passport.
Yeah, I have one of those too.
But like, if you live in Europe and you take advantage of their wonderful social safety net and all of their socialized systems that they have over there that the States doesn't have, then like,
Maybe you're not actually as big an American advocate as you think if you are specifically utilizing the tools and resources from other countries to prop yourself up because other countries have those tools and resources.
There's actually an account that's been, their videos have been recommended to me a lot, that it was a guy who, he grew up in New York and he was kind of right-wing, and then he like went to Europe for school and he just never left. And now he's like super duper left wing and is like, yeah, no, it's way better over here. I don't know why these Americans are so gung ho about, all this American stuff that supposedly makes them the best country in the world when they're clearly not.
And
so, yeah.
I adore...
I'm sure someone in chat will know who the fuck I'm talking about and will type their name and then I can...
Or it's going to be somebody in the comment section later who's going to be like, hey, I know who you're talking about.
My videos get like 3 comments each.
Lenari says, seriously, who is this loser? I can't read the name. Joey Manorino.
Joey Manorino. He's... Okay, we can get rid of the picture for him. This guy. This fucking guy.
Well,
He's a semi-regular here on Twit Tweets.
may want to give some context for people, though. Semi-regular does tell people that he's a piece of garbo.
He's a right-wing asshole who lives in Europe and has some of the stupidest right-wing takes that I've ever seen.
There you go.
Anyway, entertain the people for a bit. I'm going pee.
Oh, okay. Yay. So, guys, now that Rhino is going pee, did you know that he makes it dribble a little to the left every time he goes? It kind of gets everywhere. It's weird. Nah, I think I'm past the point of narrating his pees. At least I think. That said, it is wild to me that people will have such strong opinions about the United States without living here, like, actively for a very long amount of time. Granted, I don't really want to live here either. Honestly, I have a home here, and it is not financially viable for me to live elsewhere. And I have family here, so it's also not emotionally great for me to be elsewhere. But eventually, maybe. Axo says, do you want to talk about Star Weirds? I'm fine talking about Star Wars, but I don't think I want to specifically talk about Star Weirds. Like, I like talking about Star Wars. I really like talking about Star Wars. That said, I'm surprised very few people in the chat like jumped on me for liking both Last Jedi and whatchamacallit and Rise of Skywalker. Because I used to hate Rise of Skywalker, but like now I don't actually. It's just weird. Sarah Chikorita says the Star Wars trilogy, there can be only one. Nah. The Star Wars trilogy now is a trilogy of trilogies, and I like each of the trilogies more the more I watch them. Sean says, we have strong opinions about the fact that the Monster Hunter Secret Lair got canceled. It's getting reworked, though. Like, it's only temporarily canceled. Sakura says, one can both like something and be critical of it. Yeah, I like it, and I was very critical of it when I watched it, and so my thing with Last Jedi is the more I watch it, the more lukewarm I get on it while still really enjoying it. And the more I watch Rise of Skywalker, the more I enjoy the movie. And the more I watch Force Awakens, the less I like the movie.
You're lukewarm on Star Wars?
Who's that? The main character of Star Wars is Anakin Skywalker or Rey. Who are you talking about?
Talking about OG Star Wars.
I've never seen those movies.
I'm
obviously lying to you.
I know. Youngest child who is we haven't finished the original trilogy yet. We're on Return of the Jedi, and we've just met the Ewoks.
Oh, are you not? Are you not doing the weird method where you watch like Star Wars episode? Oh. You watch like 4 and 5, and then you do the OG trilogy.
Yeah. What?
Have you not heard about that one?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but you just called the prequels the OG trilogy.
Sorry, the first episodes 1 through 3, not the OG ones.
Yeah, no. I am aware of that method, and the story does make more sense that way, but I feel like... So part of my goal with introducing him to Star Wars is the idea that movies don't need to be flashy and grab your attention every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Even for, like, because he has a very short attention span. He made it through Yoda in the swamp like a champ. So, like, if he's actually interested in the movie, he's going to sit there and pay attention. So I don't want to introduce him to the newer, flashier stuff until I've confirmed that the older, less flashy stuff gets there. And, like, the hardest part for that is coming up. It's in Return of the Jedi when Luke and Leia have the chat about being brother and sister. Like, that is, like, I remember as a child, that was a slog. I did not care for that scene at all, and it went on forever. So we're getting through that. And I'm also... I am using the I own the movies legally, but I watched the Harmy's despecialized edition, which is technically illegal. But I'm like, that's my backup copy because I own them legally. So like I'm doing that because again, like he doesn't need 50 aliens walking in front of the camera so that you can't see what's actually happening in the movie. Because George Lucas was like, hey, CGI is cool. Let's throw all the aliens in there.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm also in a weird spot where, like, I've watched the special editions so much that I think I've become numb to the changes.
So I wish there was a hybrid between Harmy's despecialized edition, because not all of the changes were bad. Like, the ships taking off and landing, way better in the special edition.
Like,
It's just objectively, it's better. Like, as opposed to little tiny dots in the horizon going shoo, shoo, shoo. It's actual ships. Like, it's like that is good. But like, there were too many bullshit things. Like, hey, there's like entering into Mos Eisley as the speeder's going through. There's like 15 alien creatures that you can't even fully see, just like blocking your line of sight to the stuff that's actually happening in the scene. But yeah, so he's starting with the despecialized editions. So he knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father going in, but I managed to get him like I never confirmed it, and I was always like questioning it, but like, what do you mean Darth Vader's Luke's father? And then when it got to the scene where Obi-Wan was explaining how Darth Vader betrayed and murdered your father, I was like, see, I told you, see, Darth Vader's not his father. See, Darth Vader killed his father. And so when it actually got to the reveal, I got to see the reaction. It was great because like we were cuddled up on the couch watching it. And as soon as they started talking about like, oh, you never know what happened to your father, he like sat up and his eyes were wide. He was paying attention. Everything like, oh my God. Even though it was spoiled for him, I still got it. Yeah. So it was fucking great that he got that reaction out of it, even though it was spoiled for him.
That's nice.
I enjoyed that.
That's definitely nice. I can appreciate that a lot. That was one of those things that my first Star Wars movie was Empire. So there was never I never had the moment of like not knowing who was what. Because when I was introduced to Star Wars, it was basically the parentals going like, oh, here's the best one. And then, yeah, Empire's the best one. It's my favorite of the entire set.
Yeah, but you still got to start with the beginning of the story.
So which
at this point is like, well, okay, the beginning of the story is Andor.
So I had this really weird situation where I had seen Empire, I had seen Return of the Jedi, because my cousins had a copy of Return of the Jedi, and I had not seen A New Hope until I asked for the Star Wars movies for Christmas, and I got the gold box that has like the 2006 special editions, and it has the
VHS tapes.
No, it was the first release of the DVDs, because the fourth.
I got the gold VHS tapes, man.
Because the fourth DVD was the making of Star Wars DVD with all the interviews and everything, and I got that. I still have that box.
That's Paul Gia's in one of those interviews, not from the special edition. He's from the prequels.
Yeah, I have that box, and the first thing I did when I got it was immediately went to my laptop, put A New Hope in, because I had never seen A New Hope. So my first interaction with The New Hope also was the version that has like all the aliens walking around Mos Eisley and shit, because it's the special edition that came out after episode 1. So like
Well, I mean, I am also like, as much as I prefer the despecialized edition, I am not butthurt over the special edition, because you know what that enabled me to do as a child? See fucking Star Wars in the theater.
Yeah.
Because they re-released that shit. If they hadn't done the special edition, I would have only ever seen it on the little tiny CRT that we had.
Every Star Wars movie is better in cinemas. Every single one. It is a larger-than-life series. It deserves to be on a larger-than-life thing.
Yep. And because of the special edition, I was able to experience that. So I am not upset. I was the right age to actually enjoy Jar Jar Binks when the prequels came out. I even had the shirt of him doing the with the tongue sticking out.
See, I was in a weird spot where like, so technically before I watched A New Hope, I watched episode 1 because I saw it in theaters as a kid. And I remember falling asleep in the theater in episode 1 and being just generally lukewarm about it, so much so that I didn't like Darth Maul, who's like objectively one of the coolest parts of episode 1. Like,
yeah,
I just
like that's one of the best fight scenes in all of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, so like I didn't like Maul. I didn't care for Anakin one way or the other. That part didn't register to me. But there were so many aspects of that movie that I just didn't like as a kid. And then of course, Attack of the Clones didn't make me like it any more, because Attack of the Clones is worse than Phantom Menace in almost every way.
I had kind of the same experience with the prequel trilogy as I did with the sequel trilogy, is that I spent my entire childhood rewatching these 3 movies over and over and over again. And then they announced they were doing new ones. I was like, fuck, new Star Wars? All right, count me in. So like, I just loved it. And like watching them back as an adult, I'm like, yeah, no, these are not good. These are bad movies, but I had fun with them, and I still have fun with them. And the sequel trilogy, less so, because like they didn't come out when I was a kid, so I don't like. There is still a little bit of nostalgia around the prequels for me, even though they will never hold as dear a position in my heart as the original trilogy. But because the sequel trilogy came out with me as an adult, they have no fucking chance.
So
it's like, yeah, that's the one where they ruined Star Wars. Let's move on to Andor. Have you seen Andor yet? Because it's fucking amazing.
I have seen Andor. I haven't seen all of Andor. I'm close to the end of season. We had this conversation before.
Yeah, but I assume you would have continued watching since then.
Unfortunately, the problem is that there's a giant list of things that Saki and I are watching, and on that list, we just rewatched all of the Star Wars movies. Like that was a...
Yeah, but you've seen those already, so you should watch Andor first, because you no. So there's a new watch order. You watch all of Andor, then you watch Rogue One, then you watch New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, then you go back and watch the prequel trilogies without Episode 1, and then you come for Return of the Jedi.
But see,
and fuck the sequels.
I still would like to watch Episode 1 because I have realized, and maybe it's just because of current politics, that could be the problem. But because of current politics,
there's a lot that fits. Yes,
I like Episode 1 a lot more because it seemed like a dumb movie in the Clinton era, but it seems like less of a dumb movie in the Trump era. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.